people to remember that and just join in and be a part of that love. So I'm glad the energy is good because that's right where I need you to be.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. Thank you so much.
All right.
Yeah.
We are ready. We can't wait to hear your words, bro.
Got you. How you want? I mean, you want me to just run straight through? I know you said you want to kind of talk in between. How do you want to do it? It's up to you. I mean, I'm here.
Yeah, however you like you can do a poem and then maybe just we can talk.
All right.
A little bit about where like where it came from, your background of stuff, because that's usually like when I feature, that's one of the best parts, like is getting to like tell your story and where it came from.
Yeah. And so they were doing this I Am challenge for a while. It was nice. I watched a lot of people do it, and I did not want to do that, but I wrote it. But I never used it. I'm never going to use it again. However, I wrote a different version of an I Am poem that I want to use that I'm going to read first, and just to see, this is just who I am, right? I am but a bird gliding against the blowing forecast. The wind has found a home in the ruffle of my feathers. I call it freedom. I'm an automobile running on fumes and prayers for an early payday. I am a lonesome dove in a room full of smiles, but no one can see me. I am precious jewels, a seed planted in fertile soil, which is to say, I am a black boy child born in a broken land. And apparently, I don't belong here. Apparently, free labor and ripped backsides isn't enough payment, and so I don't belong here. And every day, the landsmen make that known. And they make commodities out of my kind. And they make heaven so far from reach, we have to ask for permission to enter unless they've decided we've breathed enough for their atmosphere. Unless they felt more empowered after we failed to acknowledge their privilege. I've watched police stops force men to cover themselves and their pride and their manhood in the same place as last night's dinner. I've read far too many stories that said wrong place, wrong time supersedes justice, and prejudice will always override black innocence. I am a shattered mirror on a back end of a broken marriage where my better half won't see me. Regardless of my shining, she won't allow my greatness to find a comfort zone. Even her dogs piss on my side of the sidewalk. I am from a land where my name means more than servant, but here in this America, I am only prey. Here I pray to someone whose face looks more like oppression than redeemer. It says more enslavement than deliverance. I am skid marks in a lily white southern roadway where streets, corners always have more surveillance cameras than friendly neighbors. And despite what folks think about these people claiming to be common folks, I've learned that there is absolutely nothing common about these folks. And I am still from here.
That is how we kick it off.
Yes. Oh man.
That's how like the first poem you write is like that. I am from, or like I am home. Like
right.
Like just develop it over your life.
I just like I don't want to stick to just the basics of I am. Like let's what is that, right? Yeah. And then it's Black History Month, so you gotta dabble in the Black History Month stuff, so that kind of helps that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, bro. What are you reading next?
This piece is untitled, but I love it, and this is the beginning tribute to Black History Month.
Beautiful.
And they sold us for pennies on the dollar. Our value less than a pair of shoes. We never saw a day of rest until it was eternal. And even death had a price. Off time, death and breathing required their permission. So force feeding was a gospel to them. They relied on it. You see, they sold our babies and mothers after she couldn't bear any pickaninnies before anymore. When she couldn't breastfeed or breed, she was worthy of death and he was worthy of nothing. Even death was too big for any African male. He was only worth ripped up backs and heavy workloads. You see, we was sold for pennies on the dollar and rented to poor whites and even given away as debt collectors. Christmas gifts, field hands. We are walking miracles, holding the load beneath our dying souls in the dead heat of the land, in the cold of the winter where God himself couldn't find us. We were tucked under titles and deeds, nothing more than property and wenches and slave boys and strong backs for many, many, many moons beyond my birthdays. You see, birth years had no meaning to them, and we wore names that never matched our complexion. Still, they don't see us beyond that. Like we haven't breathed in the same air all this time, along these same footsteps engraved their way through heated fields, and still in this land we hold the brunt of the workload, and it lives in our dreams and on our backs and in our names like John and Bill, and names that never match our black skin or our originality, and still we accept it, and we never do anything to ourselves for ourselves, but slave masters demand us still. Still, imagining tiptoeing barefoot in the dark, the winter wind chafing your skin as the bushes scratch away at your flesh. Fear and wanting freedom have become the only motivation. Survival begins with the natural hue of your skin molding itself into the dark of the night. Imagine feeling twigs cracking under your footsteps while trying to remember 50 paces to the white fence. Then turn under the flickering star, run quickly towards the pecan tree and quietly wait. If there is a candle lit, someone is in the area, so just wait. Don't breathe. Don't be human. Just wait. You know, I imagine stories like those coming from our ancestors' mouths. A lifetime of scenarios that led to freedom for some and only dreams of a better day for others. Can you imagine what it felt like running for your life, voices screaming the word nigger through the roof of their mouths? Imagine seeing bodies tied against the biggest tree on the block, crying babies wanting to feel human more than anything else in this world. Long before Jim Crow, long before segregation, long before 3/5 was written into a constitution. See, when they say, let us make America great, what does that say to the Negroes? Does that phrase help America forget about their history? Those who carry her celebration like backpacks. Perhaps she can't see past the scars, past the European last names, the clouds that cringe every time this anthem speaks of freedom or speaks of justice, but blind-eye victim shames every one of her captives, every black body she only claims during election time, and still today they frown at everything that says black folks. Except our money, except that says she can, everything that says we can, and still today we become doormats. Footsteps bury themselves in everything that labor couldn't claim yet, and still today we bounce to their permission, look for their approval, dance and sing for acceptance even at the expense of our manhood, and still today our solidarity has no value. Our sacrifices only measured by their standards, and still today we belly up to their authority, answer everything that makes them smile, makes them safe, and still today they ask why we write angry black men poems. Why we sound like this when hate should have changed our thinking long ago. Why haven't we forgotten prick fingers and cotton fields? And still today, when they ask me, why do I hate to say Black History Month? It is simple. How the fuck could you cram 365 days of black excellence into 28 days of a calendar month?
Yes.
Yeah.
Appreciate your words, bro.
Appreciate it, man. I think there's a lot to learn from some stuff that we got to just pay attention to. So, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'm all worked up and sweating.
I
Man,
Yeah.
that's one of those poems like you feel all over your body after.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I think when you write a poem, I don't think it really comes to life until you say it out your mouth. Because you read it in several times over, but there's a certain way that the syllables roll across your tongue that make you change it. And then you find out the home that it belongs to. You know, you find out where it really should be at. So yeah. So next piece, let's keep moving.
Let's go, bro.
The next piece, don't worry about, you'll get it. Imagine walking in a man, left foot over right foot like any other man you would see. Seated in the highest seat this world have ever known and still called a nigger. Still called unfit. Someone spat your name as if the syllables made their taste buds sour. Imagine what it felt like having to shake hands of men who never forgot the function or the fraction they've branded on your skin. The ugly they've laced against your culture spoke as if your kind forgot this wasn't your home. And they stare at you like your fingerprints forgot its identity. Imagine being the leader of the free world and still called a coon, a ham bone. They insult your birthright, call your family animals. Imagine you, a black man, educated, and so fancy they can't shake your bones, can't wait to see you fail, can't stand to see your picture hanging along the white walls in a White House, a structure that your ancestors built in the middle of what America holds so dear. Imagine holding a position in a country, the highest lawman this country could ever know, the commander-in-chief, paramount of salutations, and they still call you nigger, a criminal. They mirror your kind in a portrait of belittlement. Every time they mention your family name, someone's stomach knots itself, turns inside out because you're not supposed to be here, not supposed to walk in here. They said you shouldn't spoil the front door with your fingerprints. Imagine holding a title that made you untouchable and still they called you a nigger. Imagine how former presidents rotisserie themselves in their graves, spirits burn through their forever homes, the last resting place they will ever know, anger burning through what the good old boys thought they could control, tarnish what the forefathers lassoed away from anyone who shined like you did, shine like you still do. He walked in a man, a black man. Education shined his tongue like a medallion. His speech sharpened, chiseled the hearts of the naysayers, caused their front teeth to grind against themselves. He made them liars and pulled scabs from the smiles of men who cussed when his back was turned. They never saw him coming. Never nightmared a day when brown black sides could rest against White House sheets and showers. Never saw him sitting in a seat their fathers couldn't touch, walk on carpets their fathers couldn't afford to rent. I watched them call him monkey, non-American, illegal, against everything this country called righteous. But he walked in a man, y'all, a black man. Education blinged his voice box like jewels, trimmed his tongue like priceless diamonds that crystallized the perfect verbiage, branded his brilliance against the elite, raised his person like the red letters in your favorite Bible text. He walked in a man, a black man, tough skin and bronze in what his creator had blessed him with. A man, y'all. And we will forever remember him as Mr. President Barack Obama.
Yes.
Fucking America, man.
Yeah, that part. But there's. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, I was saying, so how can when your books come out, how can we get them and how can we support you?
So everything I have is on Amazon, but these new books that are coming out, we're looking at actually publishing them with some other publishers that we're looking at. And so I suggest people always, follow me on Coach Josh Smalls anywhere. Definitely follow my YouTube page. Come to my Coffee Time with Coach in the mornings. Yes, come out to that. I love listen. The show is great. I've got 103 episodes up. It's on YouTube. Subscribe to it and come enjoy it. I'm always looking for guests to come on. I have plenty of things coming. But the books, like I said, if you contact me through here, IG is always easy to DM me and I can follow you through. I can set you up. I do creative writing classes. I do creative writing coaching. I do editing. There's a little bit of everything. We have clothes. We got merchandise. I got my own Put Me in the Game coach shirts. You know what I'm saying?
I like that. That's
Yeah. Yeah.
Man, we also gonna I'm gonna put your information for Cash App and in on our page tomorrow, so that everyone who saw this and loved your words can help you out.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I got a new baby here. I need all the love I can get. All the love offerings.
Got a new baby.
Yep. So the next poem I'm going to do is something you've heard before, but it's a poem that I always do, and there's always a reason behind it. So this is this is my tribute to a metaphor. A metaphor is a phrase used to describe an object or an action, but it doesn't necessarily have the same meaning. So when I say she loved me like rain and planted seeds in the spring, well, that means she saw enough in me to follow my lead. And the only promise was we would become a new thing. So when I say at 15, she told me my name held a gold strip that hovered over an address that I couldn't call my own. Well, that means there was a throne in her bedroom with my name on it. It means I was good enough for sexual favors, but not worthy of a saving grace. It means she could handle me as a man, y'all, but she couldn't handle me being her man. You see, oft-time metaphors nicely decorate the things we're really wanting to say. So when I say to my son, I love you, it means, son, you are no longer a child. So handcuffing me to your mother's promises is wrong. I never left you, son. She just never brought you to me. When I say, I think of you every night, son, what I'm saying is insomnia has your name tattooed on my arm. It means the only bling I wear is a crown of depression. It means every time you run away, you shatter pieces of me I've never known, my son. It means we can share the same pain. It means hating me is like hating yourself. Nothing says struggle like losing the connection between a father and son. It means that you can try to scratch me from your memory, son, but you can never scratch me from your mirror. Our DNA will never appear this way again, so don't say I left you. Never say I abandoned you. Always ask me first. Do not ask me to pretend I don't know you, son. For there is no journey too far for me to rescue you. So if you come or call, if you reach your hand, I will give you my right arm. I will chew off my left leg to give you the balance you need to make it through a day, my son. You see, metaphors don't always say everything you need them to say, but son, when I say I love you, sometimes it's the perfect thing to say. But oftentimes, when I say I love you, son, it just means Daddy loves you. Yeah, that's a poem for you.
How you feeling, John?
I'm good. I'm good. I definitely enjoy doing that poem because I hope that my son pops in on IG and sees it. And I try to do it as much as possible. So anytime he sees me on, he gets to see it. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Yeah, that's like your son could be watching you. Like that's like all the motivation.
I mean, all you can do is do your part, you know, and you know, see where the chips fall, and hopefully they fall in a place that's comfortable for everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's been a really great night so far though. Like everyone come out and support, great energy.
Yeah.
And definitely a lot of that is because of you, man. So.
Well, I'm grateful, man. And I thank y'all for coming in and hanging out and listening to your boy ramble and do whatever I'm doing. So.
Think about do like one more and then we be out.
All right, I can do one more. I got this one is fairly new, so I'll do this one and
Awesome.
hopefully they'll like it.
Yes.
New shit.
Trigger warning for bigotry. Trigger for American spoilage. For good old boys who forgot humanity has more than one hue. You see, this poem is for my neighbor. For the cousins who won't see home again. This poem is for the hip hop culture. When will you learn that money can't fix you? That your kind of broken has no answers. Did you forget about the dogs, the water hoses they nearly ripped off your skin? Did you not see the same faces calling you the same names, calling you the same adjectives, the names they allow a rapper to tell you pride was tucked inside of its wings? You see, money can't fix you. You can't dress your kind of ugly with dollar signs, can't pay for a freedom your mind can't even believe. Have you ever heard the word freedom? I bet you never believed it even after it escaped your voice box. Have you ever heard your voice say it? Freedom. See how it trembles as if it was only heard when you whispered. Never spent a moment hearing what your body was afraid to claim for itself. You see, money can't fix you. You've watched them beat your mother, your grandmother, jail your father, kill the revolution before your eyes dance to the syllables. They've tidal waved your imagination, blinded you from your own self. So far, you don't even have a reflection these days. Your shadow can't catch up to your footprints. Your footsteps have lost themselves. You see, money can't save you. Can't erase who they've made you become. Those who made you shuck and jive, taught you that tithing was a payment for heaven and gave you hell when your pockets couldn't afford a safe place for you, but it kept the church bells in the hood, blocks from the liquor store, buildings away from the bootlegger, the crack house, the precinct with nightsticks and black skull bones attached to its agenda. I bet you haven't even finished your prayers yet. Ain't had your supper before you heard the news flash, before the headlines came in, branded another dead body, and you called it black, didn't you? Had your face in your plate, stuck in your dinner, didn't bother to look up, just asked what color it was, what hood he was from, if his name was Tamir Rice, Laquan McDonald, Trayvon Martin, Mike Brown, didn't ask who his mother was, assumed his father was absent or in a jumpsuit, or just decided his home address looked best on Abandonment Boulevard. Ain't no houses on No Man's Street or avenues on the residence where black souls used to live. And see, money can't fix you. Won't erase post-slave disorder. Won't turn 3/5 into a revolution. Won't save Martin. Can't save Malcolm. Won't make you a believer. Bottom line, money can't fix you. And your problem is you too busy accepting it. That's a new one, man. Yeah. Look, man, I appreciate y'all so much, man. You know, I love coming on your show. I absolutely love being here. I try to bring everybody over.
They got to get their ass up and do a standing ovation out here. Everybody at home.
Yeah.
Send the love.
I appreciate it so much. My mom is still up in here, man. I see my mom's name up there, man. That's awesome, man. Yeah.
That's awesome.
She's also a poet too. So yeah. Actually, I just got the mail, and my uncle, who's also a poet, I got a poem of his that just came in the mail today. One of his old poems. And I'm ecstatic about that. I got to go over his stuff, man. So it runs in the family.
Right? Yeah, you got a poetic thing
Same.
in the blood.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So what y'all gonna do? Open mic now and let people come on?
Yeah, we can bring up a couple more people, and then we're gonna do the group piece read the group piece that we did.
Oh yeah,
It's on
yeah.
our page.
I wrote something in there, so hopefully it went with it.
That's
Hopefully
fine.
it went.
I'll say about.
Bye.
Thank you so
Sorry,
much. I appreciate you.
I'm studying the heart.
Oh, are you?
The literal heart.
Here,
The
take mine.
literal heart.
Take mine and study it.
But I'm also listening to your beautiful poems, and I love the one about your son. Oh my
Oh.
God, that one gets me every freaking time.
Yeah.
Every time.
I
You are so powerful with your words.
thank you so much. Thank you so much. That's one of my favorites. I try to do it as much as possible, even when I'm not feeling good. Like today, I still try to get it out. But yeah. Thank you so much for having me.
Will, who you just saw dipping in and out of here and stuff, he has a poem like that about his daughter. It's the same thing, you know, that connection that is always, always, always there.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'd love to hear it. Hopefully they'll come on and do it before we get out of here.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
gotta come out to California when COVID's over.
Listen, when COVID's over, we're coming.
Perfect. Please
When,
do.
when COVID's over, we're coming because I need that energy, right? It's all good through the phone and stuff, but I need to give y'all some real energy from me. So as soon as COVID is over, it's on.
Bring all As soon as it's open, we got you on the whenever you want to.
Bro, I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready.
Have a great night. Everyone, please support Jao in whatever way you can.
Thank y'all. I appreciate it, fam. I'm gonna stick in and check everybody out now.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you.